In McCutcheon versus FEC, Alabama millionaire and donor Sean McCutcheon asked the U.S. Supreme Court to strike down the overall or aggregate limit on what an individual can give to federal candidates, parties, and PACs in any two-year election cycle. That limit stood at $123,200, over twice the average household income in the United States. The U.S. Supreme Court had never before struck down a federal contribution limit, maintaining that these limits are constitutional because they prevent corruption and the appearance of corruption. But on April 2nd of this year, the U.S. Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, struck down the overall or aggregate contribution limit to candidates and political committees, further opening the floodgates to big money in our elections.
Aggregate limits are in place to prevent wealthy donors from being able to circumvent the individual limits on contributions to any single candidate. Without that aggregate limit in place, what wealthy donors will be able to do is to give to candidates, including people who aren't even facing election. They'll be able to give to multiple political committees who then can steer that money to a colleague who is facing a particularly difficult election fight. So what the end result will be is that candidate will get substantially more than the legal limit from that wealthy donor.
We've seen instances in the state capitol where donors who are butting up against that $10,000 limit have unlimited access to legislators. We had an instance earlier this year where one of those top high-end donors was writing laws to his own advantage that had nothing to do with the greater good, that were really specific to his own divorce case. And that's what he got for $10,000. What does $6 million buy him? That's what I want to know.
The First Amendment is supposed to protect free speech, not fee speech. But the Supreme Court seems a little bit confused. The result is that our campaign finance system increasingly acts as a form of legalized corruption. When politics is pay to play, most of us end up sitting on the sidelines. And our government should not be for sale to the highest bidder. Democracy means that the people decide, not just the rich people, but all of the people. And the roots of our current problem do run deep. Underlying both the McCutcheon decision and the Citizens United decision before it are these two very problematic legal doctrines, that money is speech and that corporations are people.